Once again, I thank the management for inviting me for the keynote speech. Can you hear me? Shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today I'm going to give a keynote speech for this conference, and the title is Data Science AI Framework Enabling Smart Technology Automation Through Mobile Application. I have been working in Adama Science and Technology for past 6 years under the Information Technology specialization, and there are some researches which I have carried out under the Research Special Interest Group under Smart System Software and Data Science. So today in the keynote, today in our conference, I am going to present the keynote speech based on this title. So it is about the data science and AI, how the model works in terms of in the aspect of smart technology automation as well as through the mobile applications. So from the terminology, we can arrive at how to understand data science and AI. So data science and AI are two different intellectual titles. So in order to present data science, it contains the statistics, mathematics, computer programming, and it contains lots of fields that solve the real world problems. And if we take artificial intelligence, it is another core where we create machines out of which behave out of programming or out of real world physical objects which behave like humans or which may mimic like human behavior. So again, if we see how data science is used in AI, so if we in case of data science, most of the results and most of the conclusions where we arrive at is based on the prediction and analysis. So out of prediction, we analyze some of the insights which is gained out of data analysis and out of processing or training or testing, whatever the process we do based on the algorithms, we arrive at some outcomes. So artificial intelligence is based on the data science, which deals with all of the materials and contents or the tools that we use to develop a kind of intelligent systems according to the demand or requirement. So especially what is AI? If we see, there are lots of AI technologies that we interact in around the world, and we have lots of applications that we move around the world through formal learning also. So naturally, as a human, we are challenging computers algorithms, and we are learning and performing tasks by different classification algorithms that is based on artificial intelligence. So we have a basic data science. Out of data, we are going to apply some of techniques which is related to artificial intelligence, that is going to enable artificial intelligence technology to attempt different kinds of tasks that is working equivalent to human brain actually. So what is data science? If we see, so we have lots of concepts in data science, like lots of insights in the data science. So we are gathering lots of insights like information, learning, image or text or any kind of information, any kind of data we have in case of data science. So for in case of storage also, we see lots of data, and a lot it might be simple and it might be complex. So if it is a simple data, accordingly the algorithms are applied, and if it's going to be complex, we are going to apply the algorithms according to the certainty and uncertainties. So actually we can see whether really the artificial intelligence needs the data science. It means the question, for this question, the answer is always yes. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So if we see whether we need the artificial intelligence, if we need the data science under artificial intelligence, we say yes. So any computer program, whenever we are trying to solve any program or any algorithm based on the analysis, most of the researchers just try to extract different features and different elements and different solutions out of it. So we have some physical devices that is integrated with the data analysis or data training or data process, that's going to result with a kind of good prediction which will give some good insights based on the data analysis. So here what is data science and artificial intelligence in case of financial technology. If we see, there are lots of researches and technologies that's getting translated in terms of economics of a certain region or a area. So where the society is also getting benefited out of technology and finance financial cases, and there is also proper business development, technology automation and business improvement. And there is also like there are involved there is lots of financial technology benefits based on AI technology projects. And in case like for example, we can see lots of disciplines like banking technology or trading or wealth. And we can arrive at we have some quantitative methods and intelligent interaction techniques or recognition techniques, deep learning techniques, and privacy preserving techniques, augmentation, machine learning techniques. So lots of techniques are there where these kinds of uh, research areas could be involved in case of financial technology for developing technology in aspect of business. So in this case, this there is a figure which I am showing. You can see how the categories are represented in case of smart financial technology. So if we want to just improve the financial aspect or commercial aspect with respect to the technology which is innovated or which is created, so there are lots of fields where the improvement can be done. So the environment becomes smart based on the domain which is chosen. Either it is a smart asset management or smart wealth management or risk management or marketing management or ethics or smart security or smart innovations. So anything it could be. So we can just it is not possible to uh, integrate all of the examples or just go through or view all of the examples, but we can see certain examples that's very much suitable for us uh, to understand the innovations with respect to the data science and AI technologies. So in case of if we have some research solutions with data science and AI techniques that's enabling the smart environment, we have certain categories that is involved for the uh, in a development process. So if we take data science, it contains mathematical statistical modeling, and it contains all of the complex systems and analysis of data. And if we take the first four categories which is listed A, B, C, and D, it could be the for A, B, and C. It could be the uh, categories which is very much more which is more specific to the data science. And if we take the other remaining categories, the intelligent models with respect to the artificial intelligence, and if we go for deep financial modeling methods with respect to artificial intelligence hybrid methods, those in those cases those techniques enable the smart financial technology in the aspect of different aspects. Like you there are two categories. In case of AI, there are set of techniques. In case of uh, business aspect, there are set of stages. So in order to improve the business, you have to design the business, what is the product you're going to develop, and how the operations are going to be in the field, and how there is a promotion to optimize the quality, cost, and the time to develop, and uh, to maintain it or to improve it or to protect and preserve it. So everything all of these stages comes under the business aspect. And if you take artificial intelligence data science techniques, there are different categories of techniques under quantitative complex analytics optimization and system. So these are some categories if we enable the technologies of data science and AI with respect to the business. So we have to just start incubating the research ideas, and we have to project the models of all the incubated ideas. So once the prototype is set ready for developing the application, it has to be forwarded for receiving the proper materials and resources to proceed in order to proceed or develop the projects or in order to scale the projects. So what kind of applications are enabling intelligent building energy management is discussed in this slide. So if we take, there are lots of characteristics and um models that is based on energy. So it can be any kind of energy. For example, there are for example, in this, particularly in this presentation, I've just tried to mention how to save the energy or how to save the electricity uh, at the end of this slide. So I'll explain the example in the continuing slides. So there are some research challenges how to maintain the procedures of data science concepts, and how to explore all kinds of scalability factors when we want to expand the techniques. So there are some emerging technologies for the smart environment. So it could be any field, either a business or transportation, or it could be a different like in most of the time in this 20th century we have lots of developments and lots of growth in information technology. Like we are exploring in engineering in a very different way. Like there are so many breaking tools and so many advanced applications which is developed in aspect of business. So if we see like lots of applications, like data science contains lots of concepts like data analytics, big data, artificial intelligence, deep learning, neural networks, and so many other techniques related to medical and related to engineering. So lots of augmented reality techniques and simulation techniques, everything is involved in developing a smart environment. So we work the researchers and we the students and those who are related to the technology, they are trying to explore and provide their best effort or optimal effort to provide a very healthy atmosphere with a smart environment. So you can stretch the healthy condition of smart environment by setting or providing a very qualitative technology environment. So lots of examples are there. So lots of insights are there. So if you see in this in the challenges, there are some analytical based procedures. Yes.
Your slides are not visible, ma'am.
Okay. Is it visible now?
Now it's visible, ma'am.
Okay. The emerging technologies in the smart environment, like you can apply this in the home or any kind of building, industrial areas, or in any kind of buildings, like even in institution, hostel rooms or restaurants or any places, the technologies can be applied. There are some physical devices that are integrated with the softwares that's going to automate the applications and make your environment very smart. So we call this as emerging frontiers. Then artificial intelligence, how it is being conscious, how we claim that the artificial intelligence is developed with a consciousness. So there are so many examples, and there are so many movies or films that is taken as an example how there is a consciousness for understanding the knowledge. And for humans, like most of the time, we are expected to develop things which develop the artificial intelligence techniques similar to human behavior, like similar to human action, and more intelligent than the human beings. So we are applying some cognitive behavior and cognitive applications and physical behavior techniques. So when we want to like develop some consciousness and show some progress in the intelligent machines out of being showing the consciousness of the intelligent techniques. So there are lots of examples. So some of the researchers, they have shared some applications and their perceptions, how to hack the mind of a person, and how to understand the hidden consciousness. So there is an article also which is mentioning the relationship between human and the machines. So how to understand the artificial consciousness of the humans. So already the human are conscious, are conscious about the things, uh, or conscious about the actions what they are performing. So how in case of artificial techniques, what is being innovated or created, how to incorporate the incorporate the consciousness that is acting as a premise, like in order to generate the knowledge about the individual, or in order to present a person artificially, without without expecting his physical presence. So lots of robots and lots of topics like how to increase human artificial intelligence interactions. There are so many researches are going related to how to create a better understanding of artificial intelligence in the perspective of film studies, and in perspective of philosophies, and in perspective of technology innovations and technology creations. So actually there is a other examples like how robots are dreaming, and how robots are arriving with some relationship between the artificial intelligence, spatiality, and consciousness. So there are lots of researches and about the robotics also. Like the creators, they have some humanoids, and they are manufacturing lots of humanoid robots. And at present, if you see, the Korea is the maximum investor for manufacturing the robots in a large in number. So there are the common there is a examination and Morgan. There are common techniques for understanding the artificial consciousness and implementing the consequences. So some researchers have even proved uh, using certain techniques for reaching the implications, like how artificial consciousness is given to the humanoid robots. So these are one example in case of robots. So in case of socio-technical perspective, it is not only about the robots. It is even the artificial intelligence. It is even applied in a narrow way without even data science, in case of commercial aspects. So along with the data science, integrating with the data science, and independently working with artificial intelligence, without depending data science and also depending on data science, it is having the perspective of narratives, inequalities, and human control. So how it is done, you can see in this slide. I've just stated some theory where it's related to social fiction. So how the narratives and metaphors are applied, like we have lots of fictions, lots of challenges, and there are lots of implications in the technology, in the scientific field. So there are lots of studies about the artificial intelligence techniques, where which is related to the social societies. And lots of people are having lots of different perceptions. So how they present their techniques in their perception, and how they build a very collaboration sociology that is combiningly implemented with artificial intelligence techniques. So how it is developed for the social, in terms of social aspect and in terms of technical aspect. So how to address these major challenges when we concentrate on socio-technical perspective. So these things has to be considered. So in this, you that there are narratives, like they mean they there are narratives like how the intelligent machines are shown, how it is exposed, how do you automate the inequalities. And if you have some artificial intelligence community, so if you want to make the community very transparent and very much accountable, how do we develop the artificial intelligence techniques? So there should be some human control, and we have to process some operations with human interventions and without human interventions. So we have lots of physical devices and lots of software applications that is developed by the software developers. So the softwares are integrated with the hardwares. So the hardware is manufactured in such a way that it is accepting the software that is developed. And some of the most of the time, there are very peculiar manufacturing technology for the technology device also. So in order to make the artificial intelligence techniques more richer, the devices are still more enhanced, and the software techniques also is still more improved in the aspect of socio-technical perspective. So it should serve the society as well as the it should improve the technical aspect. So we have to have some foresight on artificial intelligence, how to embed the technological aspects in terms of physical device, as well as how to improve the software quality to develop the technologies. So these are some narratives and inequalities and human control. So there are very good examples also to foresight these kinds of applications, um, in case of for in case of more challenging technical practice also. So there are some theories and how to claim the artificial intelligence is very much a standard technique. Nowadays we have ChatGPT 4, and we have lots of data science applications like DeepMind. So lots of data science, machine learning, and deep learning um, models are getting involved, and where we have lots of things to understand and lots of knowledges that has to be employed and lots of models that is to be used in the to make the environment very smart. So ultimately we have to develop a smart environment. We need either the smart application software or the smart integrated physical environment that is integrating with the software. So how do we understand and make the artificial intelligence techniques very much stable? In order to make it a stable environment, we have to incorporate certain steps in understanding artificial intelligence. So we have some global taxonomy for the in for space for posing all the techniques, or for um, understanding the techniques in terms of technical and social sciences. So how do we interpret the performance of all the technical devices, and how do we interpret the software devices in order to possess the benefits for the society as well as the people, society as well as the technology. So the basic solution, what we are just focusing on how to understand the artificial intelligence techniques in data science. So machine learning is the base where it is also like we can say that we can say this as a growing success of artificial intelligence algorithms to understand different kinds of deep learning models like deep neural networks. So there are different domains to justify the results and make very valid predictions, and to establish safety, fairness, and reliability also. So for to understand it better, we can just arrive it with artificial intelligence techniques that contains the symbolic AI and the machine learning concepts. And the machine learning concepts in depth, it involves the deep learning techniques. So how this machine intelligence or artificial intelligence application is applied, and what kinds of methodologies are prevailing, and what kinds of technology we are using, those things we can involve when we go on for innovating and creating new innovations. There are some. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So there are machine intelligence techniques which is helping people, and we are doing lots of researches, and there are lots of researchers who are innovating new innovations and new ideas, and they are getting involved in different domains. And it is not only that the machine intelligence application methodology and technology is only under computer science domain. Most 60% of the people and the society from the other domains, they are getting involved in uh, the information technology domains and the artificial intelligence concepts. They are involving all of these concepts to enhance their research innovations or technology innovations. So there are lots of applications under data science where I'm showing one of the example under natural language processing. So when we want to transform any kind of text, if we have physical technology or software application that is incorporating some text, so you have to transform some text to semantic qualification that has to be streamed in the web applications. So we know lots of softwares and tools that are available to present web applications. So how do we present this artificial technology and data science applications that has to be integrated when we come uh, to see in the aspect of web applications? So lots of tools are there. So when we want to present some HTML document or XML document, or some kind of transformation from HTML to styling sheets, or HTML to uh, style sheet transformations, how do we apply the natural language processing, and how do we recognize the objects what we are involving inside the web applications. So these are presented with terminologies here. As when we want to present objects, it is in terms of named entity recognition. When we want to make some rules, we use semantic qualification web. So there is an algorithm like if we want to classify some kind of web contents or web data. In this diagram, you can see the activity, how the web crawling is done, how the recognition of object is done using NER, how do we transform the text using conversions, and again we are going to filter and we are going to extract. On the one way, when we are going to filter, we are going to apply the NLP word stemming concept and NLP filter, any kind of filter that we choose for our methods, and we have some expert and built ontology that we will choose for before classifying the data. So here when we want to do the extraction similar to feature extraction, this extraction rule works before classification. So this is an example, like if we want to incorporate NLP transformation text in terms of semantic qualification web. So there is an example of machine learning ontology when we just look into deep aspect. So there is a machine learning area, and we are going to perform some task under machine learning, and we are going to follow the approach, and we are going to make predictions. So here you can find the structure, what are the areas we have in machine learning. So everyone, all of the researchers recognize the data set, and they understand what kind of data set it is. Either it is supervised, or they are going to apply unsupervised learning, or they are going to apply the algorithms for reinforcement learning. So in this case, the supervised learning belongs to classification, and it also belongs to regression. So there are two tasks of classification and regression for the machine learning. Classification is used for predicting the accuracy, and regression is used for checking whether the input is progressed very much appropriately. So always we use the measuring factor, the root mean square error, in order to measure the regression, or to check whether the input that has been processed or trained is, is being with error or without error. So whenever there is an unbalanced data set, there is no recommendation of prediction performance measure. So we have to analyze the data characteristics. Only the machine learning tasks and is applicable, and the prediction performance measure could be applied only if it is a balanced data set. So what kind of machine learning approaches are used for performing the classification task and regression task? If you see, regression is used for artificial neural network, and again the artificial neural network is used for classification. Then in turn, again k nearest neighbor or any kind of machine learning approach. Here I have mentioned only k nearest neighbor, but there are lots of other machine learning approach that is protruding the classification. In order to make some in order to apply some deep learning concepts, we can still more extend and hybrid the classifiers according to our requirement. So there is a framework for artificial intelligence which is referred by a researcher. So there is a recognition, there is a there is a place where the artificial intelligence technique is recognized and it is understood, and there is an explanation based on the condition which is understood. So there is a model and there is a result. So where the understanding and these conditions and these understandings are interpreting each other in a local aspect and in the global aspect. So when they focus on the local interpretability, you have to explain the artificial intelligence concepts. So when it is going to be interpreted in a global way, it has to be focused with the intelligent machine learning techniques. So in case of local and global, both should be transparent and comprehensible. So this is the process or the actions that is followed in order to have a transparent decision making, to make any kind of framework that is comprehensible for artificial intelligence. So ultimately this slide explains, like we have to explain all of the features of artificial intelligence. So you have to make it comprehensible. Any innovations or any creations or any technology that is being innovated, that should be comprehensible. Only then we can claim that as a artificial intelligence application. So what are the top level categorizations it is a there is a survey. There is also survey from the researchers. How do they classify the top level categorizations for taxonomies? So whenever the problem is identified, we have to explain the artificial intelligence method. So there should be a proper explanation for the artificial intelligence method, which is XAI method. So in that aspect, the measures are evaluated. So in this way, the top level categorizations are categorized. There is a level of top. There are some examples like different types of explanations. How do you explain the artificial intelligence concept? So if you want to visually like a highlight some results or insights of any kind of data sets, in the first case there is a CNN algorithm. So convolution, how is a convolution neural network is having it is used to identify the defects. So I just for in the first example, you can see if it's going to be a small defect, how it is identified. If it is a large defect, how it is identified. And if in case of C, it is a large defect. Just if we describe the object, it is not artificial intelligence. It is just a machine learning system. And if you are going to explain what is that object, we call that as artificial intelligence. So in this way, all of the innovations and the innovations related to artificial intelligence, with respect to the technology devices integrated or independently, if it's working with the software, how this artificial intelligent technique is applied. So these are some examples to uh, explain the um, explain the objects or explain the models or explain the prototypes that is going to uh, elaborate the machine learning system in terms of artificial intelligence. So this is how the data science connects with artificial intelligence in terms of different classification algorithms or different machine learning algorithms or different deep learning algorithms. Here is a sample code for always we do go for training the data set and testing the data set whenever we go for machine learning algorithms. So it could be any kind of machine learning algorithms. So if you take if you want to just execute a Python code using TensorFlow, you can import the Keras data import data set from Python database, and as soon as after loading the data sets and importing the necessary libraries, the CNN model can be displayed, can be explained. So it could be a three-dimensional or two-dimensional in case of robotics or in case of developing some applications for automated car. With respect to the technique, either it is a two-dimensional or three-dimensional, we can include the layers. So in this way, we can add the layers for defining the convolution neural network. So in this way, we can train all kinds of inputs according to the dimensions. So similarly, when we go for the next stage, in order to uh, test the data whether it is appropriate, so it could be any kind of testing technique. So we should load the data and import the corresponding libraries, and we have to create the model. And you can there are lots of methods. So if you want to flatten or if you want to dense or there are lots of methods that can be added. So in order to test whatever the methods necessary to test the categories or the metrics or the attributes which is relevant for machine learning, we can validate the training using the CNN model. So this is an example like for predicting a medical case, like a very in case of how the interface is used for medical doctors to visualize the risks of patients. So it is not only in the medical field, and we have lots of other fields where uh, other technological fields in electronics or in educational fields or in case of space technology or in case of industrial aspects, industrial technologies, in anywhere we can show the features that can be visualized and predict the risk factors out of it. So we can set the intervals, time intervals, how far we want to monitor or how far we want to enable the automation or the automated operations or automated techniques. So it can be exclusively only developed using software applications or the physical hardware integrated software applications. So there is a 9-step process segmentation application for development process, which is commonly developed by most of the researchers. In case of business and use case development, and segmentation is performed with a second step with the system design, and how do you create data, and how do you understand the data, how do you pre-process, and the training and the testing and deployment. So these are these are the list of nine the nine process segmentation, like in order. And finally the nine stages monitoring. So it is not only about designing, it should be frequently monitored and evaluated, and whatever the model is prepared in case of business, it should be tested and deployed and monitored frequently. So only then we can claim the quality of the system, if it is running properly or not. So there are lots of example approaches also for in case of ethical issues, you can check if all the informations are relevant to the users or customers or the benefiters. And if there is a proper algorithm that is explained with respect to the AI model, and if it is having a stable or a clear procedure that is not deviating or that is not showing any unethical metrics that is defined, and whether the process is having a responsible technique which is using the library corresponding libraries, and to show the fairness for like using a prevailing like prevalent audits, and proper software, whether proper software is used, and whether there is a bias or diversity for the data set, and there is a proper license or not. So everything are under the constraint in order to prove the ethical issues, to address ethical issues when we develop or when we innovate some technology or applications. So in case of cost also, the opportunities are there, and there are also some dangerous sides. So in case of opportunities, there are some social responsibilities where there should be proper ethics, and it should be compatible with the social environment. When we go for applying, when we are when we are going to when we are going to take the opportunity to develop some technology or innovate some artificial intelligence techniques, so there should be there is a cost, and there is a source, and there are some challenges which we call as perils here. So you have to reduce the human control. So naturally there is a perils means there is naturally there is a challenge there where lots of automation techniques are involved, lots of automation techniques are developed, so that there is manpower reduced and there is a less human resource. So there are, this is the danger aspect where the humans are getting eroded for uh, human resources getting reduced based on development of automatic systems. So if the automated systems are developed more, the manpower is reduced. So in order to make artificial intelligence to achieve its objectives in a risky way, there are some regulatory systems that we have to follow, and standard systems, and standard governance, and standard engineering objectives we have to claim in order to avoid the like if we have opportunities and threats, if we have some automations in the field. So all should be overcome with respect to human resource also. So there are lots of emerging technologies that are that are prevailing in artificial intelligence field. So already we know there are automatic cars, robotic cars, and there are lots of medical automations, automatic surgery automations. And in case of cyber security, there are, in case of social media also, lots of applications are there with respect to cyber security. And in case of data science also, we have very popular technologies with GPT techniques. So how does the long term future looks based on these applications? If we see, lots of concerns are there, like lots of perspectives are there related to artificial intelligence. Lots of research and interventions are there when we want to direct the future in a very good way. So uh, according to the ethical considerations and according to the opportunities that are available, if there should be long term future, there are some artificial intelligence techniques with narrow intelligence, general intelligence, and super intelligence. So always narrow intelligence, it works with a limited range, and it works with a very much concised materials. Maybe if it is a physical material or a prototype or a model, it is very much limited. Maybe we can say it is in the incubation stage. Then in case of general intelligence, it means that we are going to just develop some physical object or physical technology that is behaving like a human. So in case of general application, there is ability to expand the functionality set, and there is a ability to just make the machines act like a human. So there is a machine intelligence that's going to be built. So those applications comes under general intelligence, which behaves, any machine that behaves like a human, and which is going to replace the human, and which is controlling the human actions and human power, manpower, and it is going to perform some automations. So in that case, we develop some machines with intelligence. Either physical machines are integrated with the software, or only the software applications. So it is a singularity. So this general intelligence behaves as a singularity on building the machines. The third comes the super intelligence. So when we speak about the super intelligence, uh, it is having ultimate performance of advanced machine learning systems that is incorporated, or advanced deep learning systems that is incorporated with artificial intelligence. So how the humans is keeping on benefiting the social and technological transformations. So this is any applications which is more elaborated, or which is more integrated with additional novel ideas and deep learning systems, out of like whether they are out of human control. It is ultimate technology transformation for the society. So those applications come under artificial super intelligence. Then we have a collaborative transformative artificial intelligence and data science. How we can claim it is transformative and transdisciplinary and translational. So we call this all three: transformative, transdisciplinary, and translational artificial intelligence and data science as trans AIDS. So over 50 years and 70 years, we have the concepts of artificial intelligence and data science. And if we refer all of the works or the researches that is I am researches that is discussed or surveyed, discussed or innovated or implemented, all of those theories, practices are supporting the society in different aspect, and they have lots of complexities, that is lots of negative impacts that is challenged. And in order to promote all the technologies, there are which is related to human or society or nature or creations, this trans AIDS is supporting a lot in order to make a good transdisciplinary, translational, and transformative intelligence. So how these data science and AI is making transformative and making transdisciplinary and making translational. So we can see AIDS transformations. So in case of with respect to the technology, and with respect to the practice, and with respect to the researches, all kind of transformations can be done. So whatever all the ideas, you can see the purple color, it is the transformation. So how whatever the ideas we innovate, or we think, or we develop in transformation, that is translated to benefit the society or business or the environment, uh, uh, with a corresponding materials or with a demanding requirement. Then again, what is trans in the green, in the orange, you can we have the list of translational, how we translate the ideas that we transform. And in the green color, it is a transdisciplinary artificial intelligence data science, how how the translated techniques are having a multidisciplinary or transdisciplinary segment. Either it is interdisciplinary or cross disciplinary, or if it is going to include hardware and the software, or it is going to include only the software or synthetic systems. So it depends on uh, transdisciplinary artificial intelligence DS when we come to translate the ideas. So these multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary and transdisciplinary artificial intelligence and data science are involving the combination of artificial and intelligence and data science. So whether these areas could be applied independently, or whether these areas could be integrated with each other, to arrive at the best models. So how do we state the effectiveness of analyzing the machine learning classification models in case of prediction? Whenever we speak about data science, we are arriving at the solution of prediction. How do we personalize uh, the context aware smartphone? It is not only about smartphone. It can be any smart device or any kind of smart technology that will allow us to do some predictions or predictions based on the model which is developed. So this content context aware analysis is containing certain methods, like it is not limited to the methods which is listed here. So we are having lots of methods and classifiers in order to experiment all the researchers and the applications that is integrating intelligent context aware systems and smart devices. So commonly we use the research metrics to evaluate the accuracy and to evaluate the error, and we use the corresponding characteristic features. How to measure the exact how to measure how to exactly make the predictions with a positive rate, either it is a false positive or false negative or a true positive rate, and how do we involve uh, the receiver operating characteristic metric to present the features of true positive or false positive to evaluate. So these are the things the researchers and the postgraduates are usually use. You are the one usually using how to predict accurate system, how to predict the system more accurately, and how to uh, measure the system which system using common statistical measures. So these measures are involved, these metrics are involved to predict the model with more accuracy, and whatever the machine learning classifiers we are using, whether it is possessing appropriate accuracy for the corresponding algorithm or the machine learning concept which is used for the methodology, and what kind of error, what is the error rate, and what kind of model processing, uh, what is the success rate of the prediction for a particular model is measured through root mean square error and uh, these mean square error, and these formulations are just presented for understanding here. So in order to show the characteristics and the errors and the prediction for the classifiers, we have correctly classified instances and incorrectly classified instances. Sometimes the classifier does the job uh, based on the epochs or based on the iterations and based on the model and based on the data set. So each time whenever the data set is trained, we don't know the samples, how the samples are getting generated. So how consistently there is a correct classification, and how consistently we can see if there is some inconsistent classifications. Though these prediction results mostly these are arrived from artificial neural network model. So there is an example which is discussed by a researcher um, for this classification technique, how these methods are using the popular classifiers, and how the artificial neural network deep learning model is our it can be taken as a context aware analysis for any kind of technology that is incorporating the artificial intelligence and machine learning techniques. So these could, any methodology which is appropriate could be improved and could be proposed that is benefiting the that is showing more accurate result. So how the effectiveness can be compared with the different classifiers when we consider the context aware models. So particular, for example, there is a data set chosen and it shows the accuracy, and how do we measure for different types of results. And again, there is again another data set, how it shows the measures, how the results are performed for other different kinds of methods. So there are some small deviations when compared to the DS5 and data set 2. So only there are lots of data sets that shows insights for the data when we want to measure the effectiveness of classifiers based on machine learning. So how, when we want to scale, when there is scalability in terms of data set that is involving natural language processing or numerical values, or when there is large data set input in case of scalable projects or scalable applications, these kinds of effectiveness comparison for different machine learning classifier based on the contest aware model, it 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 shows how perfectly the model or the methods is going to uh, show us the improvement or the prediction results. So how far we can claim the better prediction results in which kind of method. So it could be different methods for different applications.
Ma'am? All of them, please wait. Ma'am will join shortly. Thank you for your informative speech, ma'am. Now it's time for releasing the proceedings for Icnscet23. To start our ICNCET conference, kindly all turn on your camera for group snapshot. Please turn on your cameras. Kindly, all of them, please turn on your cameras. Thank you. After 10 minutes break, the presentation starts. Schedule link will be shared in ICNSCT WhatsApp group. For conclusion, the smallest thanks are always worth more than the effort it takes to give it. I would like to welcome Mr. L.S. Vignation, sir, to deliver the word of thanks.
A very warm good morning to you all. First of all, I would like to thank all the brainy people for spending their valuable time in this online conference. I'd be happy to say thanks to our management, secretary, joint secretary. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Yes.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, very warm good morning to you all. First of all, I would like to thank all the brainy people for spending their valuable time in this online conference. I would be happy to say thanks to our esteemed management, secretary, joint secretary, principal, vice principal, the head of the departments, and the organizing team of the entire CSE, ECE, and EEE department faculties. A special thanks to our chief keynote speaker, Dr. Rakesh Sangeeta, for her excellent talk. And last but not the least, thanks to all the authors, those who have participated in this ICNSCT conference. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. After 10 minutes break, the presentation starts. Schedule link will be shared in ICNSCT group. Thank you.